Will America fall for Obama again? Let's take a look.
And as we gather here tonight, the people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question.
Oh, you want us to believe that Kamala is? You weren't losing sleep over it? Kamala damn sure is not losing sleep over it. She is laughing her ass off.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago.
He was whining about America's problems. He was coming up with grievances for America. That I admit, Trump be heavy on the doom and gloom, but most of those grievances are about America. Like he's like, it's a failing country. We never win. We never win anymore. We just never win. China's getting it. They're getting it. They're taking everything. And China. No, he was on that. We don't make anything anymore. We're losing our military. He's most 90% of what Trump talks about. I know you got a friendly crowd that doesn't pay attention to shit. Most of Trump's rhetoric is about how America's failing. What he complains is about the media who lies and who shits on him every day for like 8 years. Sometimes they have a right to because Trump can get crazy. But I'm saying, like, for the record, let the record show that Trump does a lot more talking about how we were losing in trade. I remember immigration. That wasn't about him. That was about immigration. He was talking about building a wall, not for himself. I know he was doing self-serving things as well, but he got elected 3 times in a row by his party because he was talking about things that voters cared about.
There's been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories.
You know, like that y'all rig elections. Yeah, that's not crazy. It's not crazy. You rigged the primaries. You did. You rigged the primary. Yeah, that's you. You rigged the primary last time. And I don't buy this a great guy thing at all, because I think you had something to do with this primary as well, not happening, and about Biden stepping down. So, nah. What else he said? He said something else about Trump. Trump is
There's the childish nicknames.
Oh, the nicknames are fun. Nicknames are fun. I like the nicknames. You weren't complaining when he was calling Republicans names. Lion, Ted. I thought it was good. Little Mario, Little Marco. Yeah, you clean the clock of every one of those Republicans.
The crazy conspiracy theories. This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Okay, you got to give him that one. Yeah, let's be fair. Got to give him that one. Trump is focused on crowd size. He does focus too much on crowd size. I mean, Somebody needs to tell Trump that his people don't give a damn. They're gonna ride with him anyway, and that the people that don't like him are never gonna believe him anyway. So that's an unwinnable battle. He needs to stop talking about crowd size. They gonna lie about that shit, and you could be lying too. Who knows? Ain't nobody out there counting, so nobody really knows.
It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his rich friends. He killed a bipartisan immigration deal written in part by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress.
Yeah, but you know, I'm ready to talk about that. Because I think people are not looking at this in the light of how it happened. So let me get this right. For 3.5 years, Biden didn't want to do shit about the border. Nothing. Right? Then it was like 4 months away from the election, 5 months away from the election. Then we need to do something about this border. Because I did some poll tests and some algorithms and realized that this is going to hurt you in the general election. And that's when Trump was like, nah, we good. Biden had all his presidency to do something about the border. He had all his presidency to come up with a plan. He had all his presidency to whip the votes to handle the border. He didn't prioritize it. In fact, it was the opposite. You went the other way with the border, didn't you? Not you, Obama, but Biden. So, I think, you know, in the fourth quarter, the Democrats decided, maybe this border thing, we do need to take a look at that. It's getting legs. And then you wanted to do something, and by that time, it was like, nah, we good. I'm running on that now. Peace. So, yeah, let's look at it in the perspective of what it was. Biden had several years. He let years go by without giving a damn about tightening the border. It only decided to do it as a political, because it became a political liability very late in the game. But of course, you Obama, have no reason at all to call it straight. You are here to help Kamala, your friend.
That would have helped secure our southern border, because he thought trying to actually solve the problem would hurt his campaign. He doesn't. Do not boo. Vote. He doesn't seem to care if more women lose their reproductive freedom, since it won't affect his life. And most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. And he wants you to think.
You mean the degenerates? I'm sorry, the deplorables? Come on, man. You guys have been. The Democratic Party is not, they are not saints. They've been shitting on Trump supporters for a while. They've been shitting on Trump supporters since 2015. What are you talking about? They've been calling Trump Hitler and dumping on Republicans and dumping on the MAGA since day one. Nah, you don't get to do that where, it's just one side. Both of y'all do the same shit. Both sides do the same thing. Come on.
That you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics from a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse.
He said blumbling and fumbling. Have you seen Kamala? I can't wait till she talks without a teleprompter. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm just saying, guys, get back to policy, Obama. Talk about the policies of this person that you are stumping for. We all heard all your greatest disses. All your greatest disses to Trump. We know. Y'all hate each other. I get it. We got it. We know. How about giving people more of a reason to vote for Kamala than you hate Trump? There you go. Because people don't like Kamala either. I hope you know there are people that dislike Kamala. I mean, up until a couple weeks ago, all the polls had her really far down, and now all of a sudden, without doing anything, her polls shot up. So I don't know how. I mean, it would be a conspiracy theory to suggest maybe the polls are bullshit, but you know, I don't know. But there are people that don't even know who she is still. A lot of people don't even know who Kamala Harris is. You do know that. We know that. Okay, let's keep going, guys.
America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is ready for the job. This is a person who has spent her life fighting on behalf of people who need a voice and a champion. As you heard from Michelle, Kamala was not born into privilege. She had to work for what she's got.
That didn't sound the way you think it sounds, Johnson.
And she actually cares about what other people are going through. She's not the neighbor running the leaf blower. She's the neighbor rushing over to help when you need a hand.
Why come the people in California aren't out in mass saying that? I'm not talking about celebrities who want to get a job or want to get a contract or whatever with the DNC or with the Democratic Party. Like, I'm talking about, like, why don't I have a bunch of like citizens that worked under her or that lived under her rule in San Francisco and in California making these types of comments? Where are all of them? Like, why aren't they there? That would be a good time to see all the people who she did so much for. Because I'm hearing a lot of different stories out of those people. They don't sound like the way that you guys are projecting her.
To guarantee every woman's right to make her own health care decisions. In other words, Kamala Harris won't be focused on her problems. She'll be focused on yours.
Really? Because your only focus seems to be helping Kamala. You and Michelle, that's all you talk about is helping Kamala and how great Kamala is. Kamala has been in office for a while. I don't remember coming out really talking about what she's doing for us. We did it, Joe. That wasn't about us. That was about her and about Joe. I just don't see this. I don't see the vision. Man, if you don't get a President Obama, former President Obama, you should be talking about how life is going to be so much better under Kamala, because Kamala is going to XYZ. XYZ. That's what you should be doing instead of this shit. Nobody deserves to be president. Nobody should want to be president. Anybody who wants to be president, it's kind of scary in itself to want to rule the country. That's crazy shit. That's a narcissist. And nobody deserves it. Okay? Nobody deserves that type of power and authority. Least of all her. You need to be taught.
As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee.
How did Trump punish people? Well, who did he punish? He the one with all the indictments. Who did he indict? What are you talking about? Why is it that no one calls this shit out? Everybody's so scared of Obama and scared of the Democrats. They're so scared. Trump is the one with all the indictments, right? Where's the Democrats? Well, Democrats don't break laws. Democrats don't keep bad books. Democrats don't do XYZ. Democrats don't have affairs. Democrats there's no Democrat who's ever slept with a porn star, allegedly. I know there are. Bill Richardson, John Edwards. I mean, I off the top of the head, I'm naming a couple. I would say Barack Obama, but I hear different stories about you, sir. I'm just saying, Johnson. The second gentleman, I heard stories about him. I'm just saying, like, what are we doing here? But according to based on my recollection, I just don't see all the reprisals. Where are the reprisals? All the reprisals seem to be going one way. At Trump, not from Trump to other people. And that's just calling it balls and strikes, dog. If I'm wrong, somebody could correct me. Hey, guys, who did Trump go after and have them audited, raided, or incarcerated? Who or charged? Who is this person? Who are these people? It's a lot of people. Did he lock up Hillary for real? What did he do? I want to know. Because I don't remember it happening.
All of us endowed with certain inalienable rights, that everyone deserves a chance, that even when we don't agree with each other, we can find a way to live with each other. That's Kamala's vision. That's Tim's vision. That's the Democratic Party's vision. And our job over the next 11 weeks is to convince as many people as possible to vote for that vision. Now, it won't be easy. The other side knows. It's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt.
It is. It is. Explain the 1 million to 70 million. Go ahead, do it. Explain why you were able to go from 1 million as a civil servant to 70 million as a civil servant. Go ahead. Talk to me, Johnson. See, I'm saying, Bernie. See, Bernie, you can't talk to these people. Bernie said it. Citizens United, taking money for your campaigns from private interests, from billionaires, lobbyists who work for billionaires and special interest groups. Both parties, Johnson. Everything I'm saying about the Democrats, I'm also saying about Republicans. It's just we're talking about the Democratic Convention, and we're talking about this party right now, okay? The Democratic Party. It does not absolve the Republican Party, okay? Got to keep saying that because somebody just tuned in and think I'm saying that the Republicans are not corporate, owned by corporations. Well, they absolutely are, but so are the Democrats. And We shouldn't even be having this conversation. He need to be talking about what Kamala going to do for America, not what Trump won't do or what Trump did that time with the leaf blower. What are you talking about? Why you even put that dumb line in? Trump is like a neighbor with a leaf blower. You still talking about Twitter. He just got back on Twitter, dog. We don't care about tweets. In fact, I like tweets. You give me something to talk about. You know, I'm in media. I don't give a shit if Trump tweets. Who cares? I care if kids eat. I care if the kids can eat. That's what we care about. You're so detached from reality. Nobody care about that shit. Bunch of your friends get up every morning and literally open up the newspaper. Who does that? Literally open up the New York Times and read all the shit that Trump's wrote or said. Who cares? Who cares? Regular working people are going out to work. We ain't even got time to read that shit. It's people like you with too much time on your hands to be upset and frustrated. You and Robert De Niro and Baldwin and the rest of these assholes got too much time on your hands to sit around and be upset about things that don't have anything to do with your bottom line or your ability to live indoors. Once again, the focus with Kamala, damn it, I don't know who's advising the Democratic Party. Their focus should be about what she's going to do for us. There you go. That's where it should be. But at no point in time does Obama spend any amount of serious time on that shit. It's all about Trump is evil, Trump is bad, Kamala's a really nice person. And she's going to unite us, and we can have hope. That shit right there, you killed the hope. You don't understand, you killed the hope. You did. You spoiled the hope run. That's not going to work for anybody else ever again. All of us would have to die first. And it's too late. We got video recordings. Everyone's going to remember that you were the guy who sold us hopes and dreams just to fund a bunch of wars and drop more bombs. Drop so many bombs, you ran out of bombs is what Obama did. Obama, for a reason. Obama. He bombed the shit out of other countries, spent a lot of money on that, and then told black people to pull your pants up, and I can't do nothing for you. I ain't the president of Black America. I'm the president of America. It went and made legalized gay marriage. That's what you did. And then one time visited a prison and walked around and said you did something. As if black people focused on that shit. All right, guys, let's move it on. Let's move it up. Let's see.
Conditions. And Kamala will be that president. Essential, often thankless work to care for our sick, to clean our streets, to deliver our packages. We need a president who will stand up for their right to bargain for better wages and working conditions. And Kamala will be that president. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. A Harris-Walz administration can help us move past some of the tired old debates that keep stifling progress. Because at their core, Kamala and Tim understand that when everybody gets a fair shot, we are all better off. They understand that when every child gets a good education, the whole economy gets stronger. When women are paid the same as men for doing the same job, all families benefit. They understand that we can secure our borders without tearing kids away from their parents, just like we can keep our streets safe while also building trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve and eliminating bias. That will make it better for everybody. Donald Trump and his well-heeled donors, they don't see the world that way. For them, one group's gains is necessarily another group's loss. For them, freedom means that the powerful can do pretty much what they please, whether it's fire workers trying to organize a union or put...
Oh, you mean like Biden did when he made it so the railroad workers couldn't strike? You mean like that? Made a law, passed an executive order that they could not go on strike, they couldn't have any paid sick leave. Then there was a crash, a train derailment. I mean, under Biden. A couple years ago. East Palestine, Ohio. You ain't heard of it. Yeah, he walked the picket line that time. He came outside for about 10 minutes. He walked the UAW picket line for 10 minutes, and then the UAW president kissed his ass like he did something. Meanwhile, Dr. Cornel West was out there for like 2 hours. But our media is so shitty that they didn't cover it. They didn't give a damn about that. So, like, this is garbage, man. This right here, this is garbage.
Poison in our rivers or avoid paying taxes like everybody else has to do?
Man, both parties favor the rich. Both parties favor the rich. I get so tired of this damn equation. Yeah, Republicans are more favorable to the rich, but Democrats are a very close second. Make no doubt about that. And they take a lot of money from lobbyists and from corporations and from billionaires. Hell, most of the time the billionaires get in both parties.
Well, we have a broader idea of freedom. We believe in the freedom to provide for your family if you're willing to work hard. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and send your kids to...
Oh, I know he didn't bring up clean water. I know he didn't bring up clean water. Obama's the same mofo that went down to Flint, pretended to drink that toxic water, and didn't care that them babies is being poisoned. That's what Obama did. I know you. Who wrote that line, Johnson? Who wrote how dare you put clean water in a line in a speech? When the people of Flint are still trying to get their water cleaned up. And that happened under you. And what'd you do? You defended the Republican governor. That's horrible. That's dirty work. That's what that is. That is dirty work that you did. And you're going to make a speech about clean water. Them pipelines you ran through the native folks down there, the Chickasaws. No dapple. I still remember them that pipeline you ran through North Dakota.
To school without worrying if they'll come home. We believe that true freedom gives each of us the right to make decisions about our own life, how we worship, what our family looks like, how many kids we have, who we marry.
Man, who gives a shit? No one's stopping you from marrying anybody or dating anybody or having how many kids you want to have. We're not doing that. Why are you talking about that? Why are you wasting my damn time? Why are you wasting America's time with that? Why are these morons sitting there clapping about that? Nobody's taking that right from you. When Obama's talking about this shit, you know what he ain't talking about? Breaking open that bank. Backing up that Brinks check. Brinks. He's not talking about backing up the Brinks truck. He's not talking about cutting the check. He's not talking about a black agenda. He ain't talking about reparations. He ain't talking about working class agenda. He's talking about some other social issues, some wedge issues like pronouns and shit. You know what? If you don't have no future, if you don't have a future, if you can't afford a future, if you can't afford to live the American dream, buy a house, be able to get a decent education or provide for your family, your pronouns won't matter, Johnson. Pronouns don't matter when your money ain't right. Pronouns don't matter when you're living on the street. Not really. Just be that person we step over on the street. You understand how America gets down? You understand? So this stuff he's talking about, if it's not talking about the bottom line, it's not a priority. And that's where he wants to spend his time, tugging at your heartstrings about stuff that's not even in contention. No one's trying to take away your right to date anyone you want to date. What is he even talking about? How is that even a talking point? He just want to hear his own damn voice.
And we believe that freedom requires us to recognize that other people have the freedom to make choices that are different than ours. That's okay. That's the America Kamala Harris and Tim Walz believe in. An America where we, the people, includes everyone. Because that's the only way this American experiment works. And despite what our politics might suggest, I think most Americans understand that. Democracy isn't just a bunch of abstract principles and dusty laws in some book somewhere. It's the values we live by. It's the way we treat each other, including those who don't look like us, or pray like us, or see the world exactly like we do.
You know, Obama talked like he a white man. Obama talked like he a white man from a white world that don't understand black people at all. And I don't mean to like disassociate or disillusion people that aren't black who are watching this right now, but he don't sound like a black guy. Dog, we are 14% of the population. We own like 2 to 3% of the wealth in this country. This guy's talking like, oh, well, they don't look like us, and people that don't look like us. Nah, we the ones, and you talk like you the white guy. Nobody black disenfranchises anybody out of anything in this country. We ain't stopping nobody from doing shit. Zero. We complain about lack of resources and them being allocated to other groups, but that's just complaining. We don't control it. Brandon Johnson, that's his name, right? Brandon, up in Chicago. Same shit going on in Philadelphia, going over all these major cities. Okay? But we don't control it. We're not disenfranchising anyone or removing anyone's citizenship or booting anyone out. We're just talking. We're protesting. We are raising our voices. We're having the temerity to actually voice our opinions, our disdain, our dislike, our frustrations, exercise our First Amendment. But that's about it. This guy's talking like we are stopping someone from doing something and that we are someone. Who the hell is we, dog? When we become French? Obama's a joke. Can't believe I fell for this in 2008.
That sense of mutual respect has to be part of our message. Our politics have become so polarized these days that all of us across the political spectrum seem so quick to assume the world.
Actually, our politics is less polarized than it's ever been since the 60s. Do you understand that? That's why they're pulling out the big guns, because black people, which are 38, what did Claude Anderson say? Dr. Claude said 38 to 40% of the Democratic Party is comprised of black Americans. If 20 to 30% of those vote Republican, this will be the least polarized that our politics has ever been. Democrats don't want our politics to be less polarized. So this is why they end up winning anything. It's because of us. And we are tired. I believe a large amount of black Americans are tired of being taken for granted by the Democratic Party. And that's a problem for them. And that's going to gum up the works for a Kamala presidency as well. All right? Because if she comes out and she actually starts speaking black then she's going to lose her white support. She's going to get Stacey Abrams. You know, Stacey Abrams, that's when less than 30% of white women voted for Stacey Abrams. Yeah. Damn near 90% of black men voted for him. And if still, for some reason, goofies like Spike Lee and Wendell Pierce came out complaining probably about black men, when 90% of black men voted for him. It didn't have a mumbling word to say about the 70% of white women that didn't. All of a sudden, this girl power was non-existent. All of a sudden, no girl power. But anyway, nah, man, America's least polarized right now. You understand what I'm saying? It's least polarized. And by the way, I don't buy into this whole thing that America's so segregated, America's so divided. You do realize this is a country that practiced segregation for like 200 years. This country formerly, segregation was the rule of the land for like 200 years. And now we got assholes who don't know, who pretend not to know history. And you know damn well Obama knows history to know we had white bathroom, black bathroom, white entrance, black exit. Like, and this guy said, it's never been this divided. Anybody buy that? Y'all still buy that shit? That makes sense to you? There was actually laws against interracial marriage in this country. Like that, like they came up with an act. What was that the act called? Where the boxer, what's his name, Johnson? The boxer, they came up with the Mann Act. The Mann Act, because he dated a white woman. He was dating white women. He was a rich boxer. So they came up with they wrote a law. That wasn't 1910. That was like 1950, dog. I know that's 70 years. That is no time. There were people that are still here alive who lived through that. You got this guy Obama talking, oh, we've never been this divided. We so divided. Nah, you just saying that shit to try to win an election, to try to make the sides make it racial. Nah, dog, we on money. We on money, we on economics, we on business. We standing on business. We standing on economics. We're not going to stand on that shit no more, because that's the dumb move for us. See, we've been standing on that all this time and worry about who like us, who going to invite us to cookouts and all that shit. We don't need no cookouts. We can order in. We can order Uber Eats. We don't need the cookout. What we need is to get our money right. Black people need their money right. Working class people need their money right. Working class Americans, regardless of what race you are, you need to get your money right. Stop falling for the bullshit. Stop falling for the okie doke. Please, really, really. Hold them accountable. They could print money and send money to Israel. They could print money and send it to the Ukraine. That war don't even need to happen, Johnson. We all know Russia gonna win that shit anyway. We know that. It's a waste of money. Billions of dollars been sent over there. What could your state have done with that? Listen to this guy talk this foolishness. All right, let's wrap it up, Barry.
First in others, unless they agree with us on every single issue. We start thinking that the only way to win is to scold and shame and out-yell the other side. And after a while, regular folks just tune out.
40% of Americans don't vote. Moving on.
Those people that over decades have come from every corner of the globe. One where our allegiances and our community are defined not by race or blood, but by a common creed. And that's why when we uphold our values, the world's a little brighter. When we don't, the world's a little dimmer. And dictators and autocrats feel emboldened. And over time, we become less safe. We shouldn't be the world's policemen, and we can't eradicate every cruelty and injustice in the world.
Yeah, well, do we need to fund it? You're funding it right now. We're funding it right now, Obama. We are funding. We are funding war. We're funding a genocide right now. We're funding a slaughter in Ukraine, where a president is willing to sacrifice all the young men in this country for a futile attempt to defeat Russia, which they can't do. A proxy war dumbass move where he's sacrificing young men's lives. And on the other side, we got you funding. Well, we got America. Well, I would say you. Let me just say you, because you run the Democratic Party. Come on, Biden ain't been running shit. You know, he's the front guy. He wasn't running the country. He couldn't run a toaster. You're funding a genocide in Israel, in the Gaza, eliminating Palestinians right now. We don't want to be the world's police. The world's executioner and the world's bombers.
And so do most Americans. They still went about their business without fuss or complaint and provided an unshakable foundation of love for their children and their grandchildren. In that sense, they both represented an entire generation of working people who through war, if we work like we've never worked before, if we hold firm to our convictions, we will elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States and Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. We will elect leaders up and down the ballot who will fight for the hopeful, forward-looking America we all believe in. And together, we too will build a country that is more secure and more just, more equal, and more free. So let's get to work. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
Yeah, he's still the same old phony baloney, but good speaker that he always was. A whole heap of platitudes at one time. And at the end of the day, at the bottom of it is, you can have Kamala and Tim Walz. Wouldn't that be great for you? Wouldn't that be amazing? If it was so amazing, why couldn't you win a primary? Yeah, but you know, you don't get to make decisions like that, Democrats. Obama makes them for you. Obama and Nancy Pelosi have decided, they have so decreed, that's your girl. Be happy and get the orange Hitler. And for some reason, even a guy with a bunch of indictments, a bunch of convictions, is still beating you in the polls. You know what I found funny? You heard all that talk from Obama and from Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. And you know what? I saw this little tiny clip from Donald Trump. And to me, this was more interesting than both their speeches combined.
Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
Yo, I'm sorry, guys. Like that man, that's, woo. Do I still have to stick with policy? Oh, God.